is up, everybody? Stevie Breach coming to you here today on my way home from work. Got killed. Actually ended up staying 2 hours later than I thought I was going to. And the only reason why I left was because I didn't know what time it was. But we'll see what's going down. I mean, this honestly is a video that I haven't made in a long time. And I think people probably got pretty sick of me making it so many times. But this video, all in all, is going to come down to basically, I think that CM Punk is going to find his release from AEW. I think that AEW is going to find a way to buy him out of his contract, and then he is going to find his way back into WWE under the new Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Helmsley era regime that is now, and find himself into a main event match against Stone Cold Steve Austin. The basis of this basically comes down to the fact that, after the brawl at the pay-per-view, CM Punk and the Young Bucks and family were excused from the AEW. Everybody was suspended. They were sent home. And they wanted to do an all-out investigation, a lot like the Vince McMahon investigation, to find out really what was the root cause, who was the wrongdoer. And I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of those people having office jobs in AEW and wanting to make sure that the members of management were being punished when they do something wrong. So when people on the undercard do something like, get in a fight backstage, they don't get to point the finger and be like, hey, those guys were fucking full on fighting and nothing happened to them. Why you gonna suspend me? So we see at the pay-per-view, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega going to be returning in a trios match, and more than likely going to win back the championship that they never lost. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for them to win the trios belts only to vacate them and then come back and lose the match. That they win the belts that they would have had. However the fuck I was trying to say, that made no sense at all. Then go over to Instagram. Stone Cold Steve Austin working out like a motherfucker. A whole lot of videos of him working out, working out at home, working out in the RV, basically saying that anywhere he goes, he's find a way to get a pump in. And Stone Cold Steve Austin, been retired for a while, came back at WrestleMania last year. Always seems like a fit dude, doing the CMT shows, doing this, that, and the other. Doesn't really seem like the retired guy, just sitting on the couch drinking beer, but seems like he's working out a whole lot more than just a retired guy trying to stay fit. Does he think that something's on the table for him to come back at WrestleMania? So let's dive into that. Stone Cold Steve Austin comes back at WrestleMania. Are they going to do Stone Cold versus Owens 2? No, I don't think so. Does Stone Cold think he's going to take out, the Tribal Chief and become the guy who ends the Roman Reigns era? I don't see that as happening, but it would be a really fun match to watch, of Roman and the Bloodline running their mouths to the point where Stone Cold Steve Austin comes back, hits him and drops him on that stack of dimes that Roman Reigns calls a neck. I think everybody would love to see that, but I think that if they're going to end the Roman Reigns championship era that has been going on since 2020, I think that somebody on the main roster should be the one to end it, so they can kind of, pass that torch along to building the stars of tomorrow. I really can't see anybody else on the roster that Stone Cold Steve Austin today would have a match against. The Rock comes back. He wants to have a fun throwback. Stone Cold Steve Austin has 2 victories over The Rock. The Rock has 1. The last one being at WrestleMania 19. Does, The Rock want to even the score? Tempting. It's fun. I think that Roman versus The Rock makes more sense. We find out who the real Tribal Chief is, so I don't think that's what's going to happen. CM Punk comes out of AEW into WWE, makes an instant impact, dropping his so-called pipe bomb right there in the middle of a WWE ring. Who's his first match going to be against? I think it was fun to see CM Punk versus Darby Allin. It was able to see that CM Punk was going to go in to AEW, and he was going to wrestle the guys on the top. He was going to wrestle the guys on the bottom, and he was going into AEW to help the company build for tomorrow. Are they going to bring CM Punk into WWE and put him up against a mid-card guy? I don't mean to like throwing people under the bus, but they're not going to do CM Punk versus Sheamus. They're not going to do CM Punk versus Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston. A mid-card guy that's not an A-lister is not going to get it. Who is an A-lister? They're going to do CM Punk versus Roman Reigns? I don't know. It'd be fun. You can sort of dig up the stuff that during the Art of Wrestling pipe bomb show that got them in a lot of trouble. He told the story about having to make Reigns look strong in that 3-on-1 TLC match back in the day. So I guess there is something that you can pull together to make a story that Punk's the guy that says that made Reigns who he is today. But I don't know about that. Punk and Austin is a match that people thought we were going to get at 28. Definitely thought, even though he wasn't in the company, thought we were going to get it at 30. Thought that it was the one thing that could dangle on the table and be like, hey, you come back, make everything right, we'll give you a match against Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's definitely a headline main event match that you've been drooling over as the final big exclamation point on your career to solidify you as a Mount Rushmore kind of wrestler. So, I don't know. It's something to think about. I mean, it definitely could fucking happen. I mean, if Triple H is out there in charge, I know you can draw up the pipe bomb. The last line I think that Punk said before they cut the mic was Stephanie McMahon taking over for once Vince McMahon died, her and his idiot son-in-law. I definitely don't think that Punk liked Triple H's booking during the Summer of Punk of 2011. Remember Triple H beat Punk on, I think, Night of Champions, or I don't know, no fucking reason. And then went on to, I think, the headline, the TLC December pay-per-view when Punk was the champion of the company, and it would have made sense to have him beat fucking everybody at that point of his career. But I don't know. I mean, Punk versus Triple H, even though they said Triple H isn't going to wrestle anymore, I think that's a huge match. And, Vince, found a way to work matches later on in his life. I mean, I remember him wrestling Punk where they just beat the hell out of each other with kendo sticks here on an episode of Monday Night Raw in October, trying to pop a rating against the World Series of Monday Night Football. So, I mean, I'm not... they can say all they want to, but Triple H isn't going to wrestle anymore. Until the day... Shit, do I want to say that? Hopefully no one takes this wrong. But until the day that Triple H isn't with us anymore, I'm still going to be thinking that Triple H is going to wrestler. He's a wrestler. That's what got him to the point where he can marry Stephanie. That's the point that got him to, be his role in WWE. And I think that he's going to do whatever he has to do to make this company succeed and be number one. Make sure they're on top of AEW and anybody else is out there. I think that he's going to find a way to do it just the same way that Vince did. He loves this company. He loves this business. I think he's going to give everything for it. I think this is a win-win situation. Gets Punk out of AEW. Gives Stone Cold Steve Austin another huge match at WrestleMania. And I think CM Punk gives him that, WrestleMania main event that he's been looking for in a long time. Is this going to happen tomorrow? Fuck no. Punk still has to find a way to buy his way out of WWE. But I mean, if you really go back your timeline, I mean, Hogan was in TNA until like at least October-ish. Got his release, sat out for a little while, and I think he came back to WWE. Was it the night they launched the network? So he was back in WWE in February. So, I mean, it doesn't have to sit out that long. If they want somebody, they're going to fucking sign them. It's not like they're, going to be wondering, like, how long is it to take to wash the stink of another company off. I think this is happening, boys. Let me know what you guys think.